The boy continued to speak. The most important thing is even if it's a rumor, the words that come out of the mouth are 6. Someone will believe. Hands up with a headache. In the hands of my intelligence 6. But this evidence, it doesn't count as clear. But once it's out, it can still be annoying. I couldn't stop him from leaking the news. I'm not a computer expert, though. At this moment, Zhang Yi gave a slight smile. But if you treat this like a rumor, it's not the end of the line. Both Chao and Yang Mi asked the same question. What are you going to do? Then he opened his mouth and replied. I've got to get ready. I'll tell you when I'm ready. After a while, the 6-year-old called. Hey Zhang, is your translation ready? Slowly Zhuang replied, what are you in a hurry for? Really think that? I have a lot of supplies in my hand. Young people continue to scare. If you didn't know my weakness, I will definitely kill you. 6 Fengriach laughed ha 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 and said, stupid boy, you killed me, you can't live for many days. Then he spoke near his voice. I said, let me tell you. It's best not to pay any attention to me. Once I die, it won't be a day. Your intelligence, it will be automatically sent to everyone in the Tianhai city. Until then, think about it. How serious will the consequences be? Truong Yip heard that thinking RA is in a day. This must be installed. Before 6 months contact me. The young man laughed softly and said. As if you're good. Just wait, I'll bring it over for you. The premise of spreading rumors is to stir up the Marines. Young people immediately translated online to post news. The missing items at Hoa Nam warehouse have been cleared up. Was that the employee involved had embezzled transport supplies to water before supplies with a total value of up to 10 billion of Hoa Nam warehouse. Where did you end up? Based on the witness's response, there were armed soldiers that night. Secret escort to the police also shut up. A little quiet about this. Unlock the secret. Who is missing? The largest number of materials of Tianhai directly City related to the blizzard disaster. There was a witness this time. To see the flying saucers of aliens. If you want to hide the truth, that's the best way, is to bury it in a pile of lies. Even if you can't fool everyone. But it can make most people. Let's say these are all tabloid news. Then the news of the 6 winds arrived. Mixed up with this fake news, of course it will not be trusted. That's it. You can greatly reduce the risk of people getting detected. Hurt. Young people's information is being uploaded online. Keep on thinking. Only people within 6 Tianhai City to be able to come here in this snow-buried situation. Then it becomes my threat. It's pretty good now. How to deal with it can only be done here. Can it succeed or not? We can only listen to God's will. After hours of sitting on the fake news computer, my husband is also quite tired. I just left the engine room and muttered. 6 for sure. That guy must be dead. Young people go to the address that the name 6 Fengriach provided. That guy probably lives here. Truong Yi left 3 parcels at the door, then go out so far. Right now, the young man had a sniper rifle in his hand. In my mind, can't be too hasty, just observe first. Put your eyes into the viewfinder, point the gun at the backpack, at the gate of the 6-year-old. I just lay there and keep thinking. This distance is enough, wait for 6 Feng to go out and get supplies. Then shoot him. Right after that, young people translate take phone out texting, it's already at your door. The young man hurriedly looked at the gun. After a long wait. I don't see any movement. The young man wondered why he hadn't moved for so long. Maybe he hasn't received the message yet. Young man impatient that click on the contacts. I'm going to call you 6. But then the young man thought he couldn't. I can't call him here. If I call again or send the next message, that means I know he didn't get his stuff. Unconsciously reveal your location. Wait a minute. He'd rather risk his life to contact me. You also have to get supplies. It can't be out. Unless he's dead by now through intense contemplation. He saw the door open, the young man rejoiced. Come on, I can finally wait. This is the moment. Zhang Yi decided to pull the trigger. There's a 6-year-old guy with a backpack in his hand. Ram. A precision shot through the apple named 6 Feng Shui. After confirming that I shot, the epidemic rushed to. Okay. I didn't stay in the snow that long. In front of the youth gate. And then he dropped some more candy. Old man, this is you. Step inside the house. I saw a computer. It's here. Raise your gun to shoot the computer. Zhang Yi thought about it. In the computer of 6 Feng there's certainly a lot of valuable material. Is it a bit regrettable to cancel? Retract into your own space, so the information in there, it can't be sent outside. Now we have to see God's will. Now go back to the internet. Even if your intelligence is really out there, you have to make it messy, so they can't be suspicious of themselves. When he returned, he was in the room all the time. Then young man out. I'm tired of stretching my shoulders. When the rice is ready, say. What are you doing in your room for half a day? I have not eaten for a long time, I must be hungry. I made you a porridge with beef steak. There's another chicken soup. It's heating up in the kitchen. The young man saw Chow Kai-ni so thoughtful. Then you can answer it. I'm actually a little hungry. Just sat down at the table. The young man was taken care of by two girls. Chow Kai-ni just took chicken soup, and the honey stands next to it. Ready to pick up food for young people? Remember the news and ask. Have you received any messages on your phone? Yang secretly handed out the phone. Ra said yes, it is true. But it's messy. Chow Mini continues to roll up the roof. Many things. I got some news, but I didn't know there was. It doesn't mean anything. I don't know what to believe. Yang Mi continued. It feels like you're hiding something. Truong Yi immediately said. It's to hide the truth. It's a smoke grenade that covers your eyes. After cooking all 8 chicken soup, put it down an aesthetic. From now until within 48 hours. There's going to be hundreds of spam messages submitted all to the forums, social networks across Tianhai City, as well as everyone's phone. Because you can't completely stop the 6 winds from reaching, so I just had to use a lot of duck tin to cover up the truth. There's going to be a lot of fake news coming up, messing things up. I don't know how to fake it. Chow Lin-ni heard Truong Yi say that and asked, but like this, it doesn't make people more suspicious. I think that makes sense, and I agree. Suddenly inflate the subject. It's easy to get people's attention. The epidemic continues to speak. Actually, it's inevitable to attract attention. Whether I send these messages or not. The 6 winds will definitely spread. So they're spreading smoke grenades, or white RA. Is that this fake news can be disturbing? With a lot of information like this, I don't believe in the current world. Others will have too much time and energy. Distinguish each news. A young man continued to make an 8-fold soup and more than the news I published. I'm talking about some big government organizations and big enterprises in Tianhai City. My personal ability to carry out the case. It becomes very small again. When you hear it, it makes sense. That's right. It makes a little sense to do this. That's really smart. It's like in our showbiz world. If someone gets into a scandal, but as long as there's a bigger star in trouble, the previous scandal will soon be forgotten. People just focus on the big SAO scandal. Staring at the translation chapter. In the heart of young honey at this aesthetic. It seems like he's not just more handsome and capable. Unexpected people are very smart. I'm pretty smart when I'm a little nervous. But those messages were all sent from your computer. If there's an AI that can trace the IP address, I will find you immediately. But what was it like? I think Zoe seems more serious. Chow was startled to know that he was speaking too candidly. I didn't mean that. Though SAO, how many people are still alive in the ocean? What's more, is there any AI that understands IP address tracking? So, the way you do it is still very successful. Suddenly the epidemic uttered. Unless the world goes completely back to the primordial period. Or we live in primitive ways. If not, it's impossible to completely cover the tracks. It's impossible to do that. I don't hope either. It can completely fool all eyes. Like doing so, at least that most people wouldn't suspect. Directly to me. For organizations with strong internet capabilities, contact with them is also inevitable. The movement of thought. And I'm ready for that too. If not 6. Then this situation is still long. I just have to face it. The blackface said. At first, I didn't like the feeling of being intimidated. So the 6 most successful. To die. More though, I hate being found out where I live. But there's a safety net. Unless you have the most advanced armed forces. If not, there is basically no one. What threat can it pose to our safety? Yang Bil exclaimed. Hear you say that. Then we were much more assured. The movement points to the ocean. Don't rejoice too early. I'm very confident that I can protect this house, but you can't be idle now. When you hear that, you blush and ask again. When I saw the red face, I was embarrassed. Aesthetic translation. I'm talking about the real thing. Where do you think you're going? What does the young man think of the cup? I mean, you guys have to set a trap for me. You know, both Ju Haini and Yang Mi jumped. The young man confidently said. The defensive power of this building is amazing. Purpose of renovation. It's to prevent nuclear war or a large-scale natural disaster. But in terms of people still thinking, not yet full, but we can't blame them either. Even though SAO is here, gun control is very strict, so the evasion department doesn't have an armed counterattack. I'm going to put booby traps around the shelter. If someone dares to pay attention to us, then let them go without coming back. When I heard that, the 2 girls were excited. Chow spoke first. Is there anything I can help you with? You keep telling me. Then Yang Bai followed the trap I didn't understand very well. General, just give me the task. I'll just be careful. Help me when you finish eating. The young man took from the space warehouse some snow mushrooms. Pointing fast at the spikes, the young man said, these are stuck in the snow. Once you set the trap, it must be hard for others to find out. Now I'm going to tell you what to do. You two have to listen carefully. Remember the location of the trap. The two girls listened intently to Zhang Yi's speech. If one day we go out, he was injured by the trap he set. It's very annoying. It's called self-squeezing. A nail on the ground won't stick to you, because it will self or have. If you touch it, the nail will fall, so we have to nail it to the wood. Like that. After being buried under the snow can pierce people. You have to use this with steel nails. Penetration of steel nails is stronger, but screws can actually increase the damage. Do you understand? Truong Yip hammered more than 10 long pointed nails into the wood. This kind of nail trap requires at least 1,000. Lack of meat can be added. Set in 100 m around the villa. Then the young man took out an animal trap and said, "You've probably seen this on TV. The wolf was caught by it. Maybe my leg is broken too. The gripped person will pierce the flesh, deep into the bones. In other words, it can destroy a person. The location of it must be carefully studied. If you put it outside, maybe someone else will use the tree to probe our A. So we need to put it in the 6 range of the trap. You just need to make these 2 traps. I'll arrange the others myself." After being instructed by Zhang, Chao Kaini and Yang Mi dashed into the nail trap. Right now from the house, young man looking out. From the outside, and there are 2. All roads are mandatory roads. Before, there are 2 explosive landmines left in the arsenal. It can be buried in the middle of these 2 roads. I'll just walk out the door later. Be careful to avoid it. The power of this thing is enormous. It's no big deal to destroy tanks and armored vehicles. If you get blown up, you're scared to the bone. I can't find it again. I saw 2 young girls explain. For the first time using these traps, the effect will be great, but if someone uses a nail tool, we have to think about how to respond. Then, young man led Yang Mi and Chao Kaini out. Guide where to place traps. Don't put the nails too loose. The best effect is when people step on the body. Fell down and then got another nail stuck in him. It's stuck in the chest or face. She could kill someone right away. Don't bury bad nails. Just enough to fill it all. Because under this snow and rain, will then be hidden traces completely trapping. Young man digging big holes with shovels, and then put the earth down and put the snow back in. Young cosmetic after. For a while there was snow. Plus, there's no trace of this place. Now it's about the enemy handling the trap. Put a deck of towed grenade traps on the outside like that. Even if you kick the rope with your feet, or use a tool to activate it, it will all lead to explosion. The young man continued to bury the grenade cords underneath. It's probably okay to do this. Trap outside the corridor 10 m long. There's anesthetic gas in the accident shelter. Tear gas and spraying equipment. High temperature up to more than 1,000 degrees. Can melt iron steel. These are all my important cards. The last line of defense is myself. A while after entering the house, Chao asked very seriously, "When is the enemy so strong?" Young people translate. When I hear this, I'm sweating. I wish I had prepared in vain. You expect someone else to come here, attack us, but it probably won't be fast. Normal people. A little bit of a mind. It is not easy to attack others. During this time period, people who can live to the present. No AI is simple.